You might not realize it, but there is a quiet struggle happening inside many of us today. It is not the kind of pain that sends you to the emergency room, but a slow, heavy feeling that lingers. You might feel a bit more sluggish after lunch than you used to, or perhaps you notice a constant, uncomfortable bloating that makes your clothes feel tight by the evening. For many of my friends in their golden years, this is often dismissed as just a part of getting older. We tell ourselves that our digestion is simply slowing down, but the truth is often found in how we have moved away from the ancient, God-given ways of nourishing our bodies. Modern convenience has replaced the complex, life-giving fibers that were once the foundation of the human diet. We look for a quick fix in a pill bottle, yet the solution was planted in the soil thousands of years ago. I am David, and today we are exploring a path back to that original design. I want to share with you 13 specific foods that I call biblical fiber bombs. These are not just random items from the grocery store. They are foods rooted in the history of the Holy Land and the traditions of the faithful. When we look at how God designed our bodies, we see that the gut is the center of our health. It influences your mind, your heart, and your energy. By the end of our time together today, you will have a clear map of how to use these 13 foods to restore your digestive peace. We're going to look at the science, the scripture, and the practical ways you can start feeling lighter and more vibrant. These foods are the tools God provided to keep our earthly temples strong and resilient as we age. Now, I want you to stay with me all the way to the end of this list. Number 13 is a food that almost everyone has in their kitchen right now, but very few people realize it is perhaps the most powerful gut restorer ever studied by modern science. Once you see the connection between ancient wisdom and new research, you will never look at your dinner plate the same way again. Before we begin, I must remind you that I am a fellow traveler on this health journey, not a doctor. This information is for educational purposes and to inspire your faith. Always talk with your healthcare provider before you make big changes to your diet, especially if you are managing specific health conditions. Let us begin our countdown with a humble staple that has sustained civilizations for 10,000 years. Food number 1 is the chickpea. If you were to walk through a bustling market in the ancient Middle East, you would see sacks of these golden, round beans everywhere. They are one of the oldest cultivated foods on earth, with archaeological evidence in the Levant dating back to the very dawn of agriculture. In the biblical world, chickpeas were not a side dish. They were a primary source of strength for the working man and woman. They were ground into flour for bread or simmered into thick, hearty stews. The reason they were so prized then is the same reason they are a miracle for your gut today. A single cup of cooked chickpeas provides about 12 to 15 grams of fiber. Much of this is soluble fiber, which is a very special kind of substance. Think of your gut as a beautiful garden. For a garden to thrive, it needs more than just seeds. It needs rich, healthy soil. Soluble fiber acts like a thick, soothing gel that moves through your digestive tract. It coats the walls of your intestines, which helps soften everything and keeps things moving comfortably. But the real magic happens when your gut bacteria encounter this fiber. They ferment it, and in that process, they create something called butyrate. This is a short-chain fatty acid that serves as the primary fuel for the cells that line your colon. When those cells are well fed, your gut lining stays strong, preventing the inflammation that leads to so many modern ailments. A study published in the British Journal of Nutrition showed that regular legume consumption, specifically chickpeas, significantly improved bowel function and shifted the microbiome toward a healthier state. I like to roast them with a little olive oil and sea salt for a crunchy snack. Just remember, if you are new to fiber, start with a small serving to let your system adjust. Food number 2 takes us to the orchards of the ancient world with the pear. Pears have been a quiet part of the Mediterranean diet for millennia, prized for their sweetness and their ability to store well. While they do not get as much attention as berries, for a senior looking to improve gut health, the pear is a hidden gem. What makes it stand out is a specific type of fiber called pectin. Pectin is a soluble fiber found in both the flesh and the skin, and it has a unique ability to bind to things in your digestive tract. It acts like a gentle broom, sweeping through your system and helping to regulate how your body processes sugar. One medium pear contains about 6 grams of fiber, which is more than you will find in most other common fruits. The pectin in pears also serves as a prebiotic. This means it is not just passing through you. It is actually feeding the good bacteria that live in your colon. When these bacteria are well nourished by pear fiber, they can more easily crowd out the harmful bacteria that cause bloating and discomfort. For those of us over 55, pears are particularly helpful because they are gentle on the stomach and help with regularity without being harsh. I remember my grandmother always kept a bowl of ripening pears on the counter, and she lived to be 96 with a sharp mind and plenty of energy. One critical rule to remember is that you must eat the skin. A large portion of the fiber and the antioxidants are located right there in the peel. Peeling the pear is like throwing away the most beneficial part of the gift. A randomized controlled trial found that daily pear consumption improved blood pressure and vascular function in middle-aged and older adults, proving that what is good for the gut is also good for the heart. Food number 3 is the flaxseed. Flax is a plant with a deep biblical pedigree. In the ancient world, it was grown for 2 main reasons. Its fibers were woven into fine linen, like the garments worn by the priests, and its seeds were used for food and medicine. Historical records from the ancient Near East show that flax was used as a natural remedy for digestive issues for thousands of years. Today, we know exactly why it works so well. Flax seeds are unique because they work on your gut through 3 different pathways at the same time. First, they are incredibly rich in both soluble and insoluble fiber. When flax seeds meet water in your stomach, they create a gummy, mucilage-like gel. This gel helps to soften the stool and ensures that waste moves through your colon efficiently and without strain. Second, flax seeds are the richest source of lignans in the plant kingdom. Lignans are special compounds that have powerful antioxidant properties, helping to protect the delicate lining of your gut from oxidative stress. Third, they are packed with alpha-linolenic acid, which is a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid. This is important because many gut problems are actually caused by hidden inflammation. The omega-3s in flax help to calm that inflammation from the inside out. Research in the journal Nutrition and Metabolism has shown that flaxseed can significantly lower markers of inflammation and improve digestive regularity. One personal tip I have learned over the years: you must grind your flax seeds. If you eat them whole, they often pass right through you without being digested. I keep a small jar of ground flax in my refrigerator and stir a tablespoon into my morning oatmeal or yogurt. It is a simple, daily act of stewardship for the body God gave you. Food number 4 brings us to the 7 species of the Promised Land. The date. In Deuteronomy, dates are celebrated as one of the great blessings of the land, and they have been a staple of the desert diet for at least 6,000 years. To the people of the Bible, the date palm was a symbol of grace and uprightness. In terms of your gut health, dates are a concentrated powerhouse. Just a few dates provide about 4 grams of fiber, mostly the insoluble kind. This type of fiber adds bulk to your stool and acts as a natural stimulant for the muscles in your digestive tract, helping to prevent the sluggishness that often comes with age. I find that having 2 or 3 dates in the afternoon gives me a steady lift without the crash I get from processed sweets. But dates are more than just fiber. They are loaded with polyphenol, which are plant compounds that act as antioxidants. Recent studies have shown that the specific polyphenol in dates can actually increase the growth of beneficial bacteria in the gut while slowing the growth of harmful ones. A study published in the British Journal of Nutrition found that people who consumed 7 dates a day for 21 days showed significant improvements in their bowel movement frequency and a reduction in compounds in the stool that can damage cells. This makes dates a wonderful, naturally sweet way to support your long-term colon health. They are also rich in potassium and magnesium, which are vital for maintaining a healthy heart and stable blood pressure. Because they are calorie-dense, you do not need many to get the benefit. Think of them as a natural, biblical candy that actually loves your body back. Just be sure to remove the pits before you enjoy them. Food number 5 is the ancient grain we know as oats. While the modern oat has been refined over the years, the cultivation of similar grains in the ancient Near East dates back thousands of years. They were a foundational food for the common people, providing the slow-burning energy needed for a life of physical labor. The secret to the oat's power is a very specific type of soluble fiber called beta-glucan. When beta-glucan enters your digestive tract, it transforms. It absorbs water and becomes a thick, viscous gel. This gel is incredibly beneficial for several reasons. First, it slows down the rate at which your stomach empties, which means you feel full longer and your blood sugar stays much more stable after a meal. This is a huge benefit for anyone watching their glucose levels. Second, this beta-glucan gel acts as a primary food source for the healthy bacteria in your colon. As these bacteria feast on the oat fiber, they produce those life-giving short-chain fatty acids that keep your gut lining healthy and strong. The evidence for oats is so strong that the FDA has allowed a heart health claim for them for decades. The fiber binds to cholesterol-rich bile acids in your gut and carries them out of the body, which forces your liver to pull cholesterol from your blood to make more. This is how a simple bowl of oatmeal can actually lower your LDL cholesterol. A meta-analysis of multiple studies confirmed that regular oat consumption significantly improves the diversity of the gut microbiome. I always recommend choosing rolled oats or steel-cut oats rather than the instant, sugary packets. If you have a sensitivity to gluten, make sure to look for oats that are certified gluten-free, as they are often processed in the same facilities as wheat. A warm bowl of oats in the morning is a wonderful way to start your day with a sense of peace and nourishment. Food number 6 is the artichoke, specifically the globe artichoke. This vegetable has been a prized part of the Mediterranean diet since the days of the ancient Greeks and Romans, and it thrives in the same climate as the biblical lands. Artichokes are perhaps the most sophisticated gut food on our list because of a fiber called inulin. Inulin is what scientists call a prebiotic extraordinaire. Most fibers are broken down slowly, but inulin passes through your stomach and small intestine almost entirely untouched. It arrives in your colon as a feast for your beneficial bacteria. It is like sending a targeted delivery of high-quality fuel directly to the workers who need it most. When your gut bacteria ferment the inulin from artichokes, they produce high levels of butyrate, which we already know is the key to a healthy gut lining. But artichokes also support your digestion from another angle, your liver. They contain compounds like cynurin, which stimulate the production of bile. Bile is essential for breaking down fats and helping your body absorb fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, and E. If your bile flow is sluggish, your digestion will feel heavy and uncomfortable. A study published in the journal Plant Foods for Human Nutrition found that artichoke extract significantly improved symptoms of indigestion and bloating in as little as 6 weeks. One medium artichoke contains an incredible 7 grams of fiber, making it one of the most fiber-dense vegetables you can buy. While they can look intimidating to cook, steaming them until the leaves are tender is a simple way to enjoy them. I find the process of eating an artichoke, leaf by leaf, to be a wonderful exercise in mindfulness and gratitude for the complexity of God's creation. Food number 7 is the raspberry. These vibrant berries have grown wild across the Mediterranean and the Near East for thousands of years. While they are small, they are the undisputed kings of the berry world when it comes to fiber. 1 single cup of raspberries contains a staggering 8 grams of fiber. For many people, that is nearly a third of their daily requirement in one small snack. The fiber in raspberries is a perfect balance of soluble and insoluble, meaning it helps with both the health of your microbiome and the physical movement of waste through your system. They are the ultimate cleanup food for your digestive tract. What makes raspberries even more special is their high concentration of polyphenol called anthocyanins. These are the pigments that give the berries their deep red color. Research has shown that these compounds have a selective effect on the gut. They seem to encourage the growth of good bacteria like bifidobacterium, while inhibiting the growth of bad bacteria that can cause inflammation. A study from the University of Illinois found that berry fiber and polyphenol work together to improve the integrity of the gut barrier, which is our first line of defense against illness. I love adding a handful of raspberries to my morning yogurt or even a spinach salad. They are low in sugar compared to other fruits, which makes them a safe choice for those watching their carbohydrate intake. When you eat a raspberry, you are consuming a tiny, complex package of protection that God designed to keep your system running smoothly. It is a reminder that some of the most powerful medicines in the world are also the most delicious. Food number 8 is barley, a grain that is mentioned more than 30 times in the Bible. It was the grain of the harvest, the food of the humble, and a central part of the ancient Israelite diet. In the book of Ruth, we see the importance of the barley harvest as a sign of God's provision. From a health perspective, barley is a superstar because it contains more fiber than almost any other grain. Like oats, it is rich in beta-glucan, but it also contains a high amount of insoluble fiber. This combination makes it a dual threat for gut health. It feeds the microbiome while also ensuring that everything moves through the colon at a healthy, consistent pace. The science behind barley is very impressive. When the beta-glucan in barley is fermented by your gut bacteria, it produces a specific short-chain fatty acid called propionate, which has been shown to inhibit the production of cholesterol in the liver. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that barley was even more effective than wheat at lowering blood sugar and insulin responses after a meal. This makes it an excellent choice for seniors who are managing their metabolic health. I recommend using hulled barley, which is the whole grain version where only the outermost inedible hull has been removed. It has a wonderful chewy texture and a nutty flavor that works beautifully in soups and stews. I often think of the prophet Elisha and the miracle of the barley loaves when I prepare a pot of barley soup. It is a grain that represents resilience and sustenance. Just keep in mind that barley does contain gluten, so if you have celiac disease, you will want to choose one of the other options on our list. Food number 9 is the avocado. While the avocado is native to the Americas, it perfectly embodies the biblical principle of eating whole, nourishing foods provided by the earth. It is a fruit, but it behaves like a healthy fat and a vegetable. Most people know avocados for their monounsaturated fats, which are the same heart-healthy fats found in olive oil. However, the real surprise is the fiber. One medium avocado contains about 10 grams of fiber. That is an extraordinary amount for a single piece of fruit. This combination of healthy fat and high fiber is a secret weapon for your gut because the fat helps your body absorb the nutrients from the fiber more effectively. Research published in the Journal of Nutrition found that people who ate an avocado every day had a much more diverse population of gut bacteria. Diversity is the hallmark of a healthy gut. The more types of beneficial bacteria you have, the better your body can handle stress, fight off infections, and digest different types of food. The study also noted that avocado eaters had lower levels of bile acids in their stool, which is a good sign for colon health. I find that half an avocado with a little lemon juice and black pepper is a perfect, filling lunch. It keeps me satisfied for hours and prevents that mid-afternoon energy slump. It is a creamy, satisfying gift from the earth that supports your brain, your heart, and your gut all at once. If you struggle with the texture, try mashing it onto a piece of sprouted grain toast. It is a simple way to upgrade your nutrition without needing any fancy recipes. Food number 10 is the sweet potato. While the specific variety we eat today may be different, root vegetables and tubers have been a staple of the human diet in the ancient Near East for as long as people have been farming. The sweet potato is a beautiful example of how God provides complex carbohydrates that nourish rather than harm. A medium sweet potato provides about 4 grams of fiber, but its real benefit for the gut lies in something called resistant starch. This is a type of starch that resists digestion in the small intestine. Instead, it travels down to the colon, where it becomes a premium fuel source for your healthy bacteria. There is a wonderful kitchen secret for sweet potatoes that I want to share with you. If you cook your sweet potatoes and then let them cool in the refrigerator, the amount of resistant starch actually increases. Even if you reheat them gently later, that starch stays resistant. This means you get more gut healing benefits and a lower impact on your blood sugar. Scientists have found that this resistant starch specifically boosts the production of butyrate, which we know is essential for a strong gut lining. Sweet potatoes are also a massive source of beta-carotene, which your body turns into vitamin A, Vitamin A is critical for the health of your mucous membranes, including the entire lining of your digestive tract. A healthy lining is your best defense against leaky gut and chronic inflammation. I love to bake a few sweet potatoes on Sunday and keep them in the fridge to add to meals throughout the week. They are a sweet, comforting reminder of the richness of the earth. Food number 11 is the almond. The almond tree is one of the most significant plants in the Bible, often representing watchfulness and God's favor. We see it in the story of Aaron's staff, which miraculously budded and produced ripe almonds overnight. Almonds were a luxury in the ancient world, often given as precious gifts. Today, we know they are a gift for our internal health as well. A small handful of almonds provides about 3.5 grams of fiber, but the real benefit comes from the skin of the almond. The brown skin is rich in polyphenol that act as prebiotics, selectively feeding the most important strains of beneficial bacteria in your gut. A study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that eating almonds significantly increased the levels of bifidobacteria and lactobacilli, which are often called the warrior bacteria of the gut because they protect us from pathogens. These bacteria also help us digest our food more completely and even produce certain vitamins like B12 and K. For those of us over 55, almonds are also a fantastic source of magnesium. Many seniors are low in magnesium, which can lead to muscle cramps, poor sleep, and even digestive issues like constipation. Adding a handful of almonds to your daily routine can help with all of these. I always tell my friends to make sure they buy almonds with the skin still on. Blanched almonds, where the skin has been removed, lose much of their prebiotic power. I keep a small bag of raw almonds in my car or my coat pocket for a quick, faith-filled snack that keeps my energy stable and my gut happy. Food number 12 is the chia seed. These tiny seeds are a nutritional marvel, and while they come from a different part of the world, they represent the same principle of seeds for food found in the very first chapter of Genesis. What makes chia seeds so unique is their relationship with water. A chia seed can absorb 12 times its weight in liquid. If you put a spoonful of chia seeds in a glass of water, within a few minutes, you will see a thick, clear gel form around each seed. This gel is pure soluble fiber, and it is exactly what your gut needs to stay lubricated and healthy. A single ounce of chia seeds, about 2 tablespoons, contains a massive 10 grams of fiber. This makes them one of the most efficient ways to reach your daily fiber goals. When that chia gel moves through your system, it acts like a soothing balm for the lining of your intestines. It slows down the absorption of sugar, which prevents energy crashes, and it helps to keep your bowel movements regular and effortless. Research has shown that the fiber in chia seeds can help lower blood pressure and reduce markers of inflammation in the body. They are also a great source of calcium and phosphorus, which are essential for keeping our bones strong as we age. I like to make a chia pudding by stirring them into some almond milk with a little cinnamon and letting it sit overnight. It is a delicious, easy breakfast that feels like a treat but works like a medicine. Just remember to always consume them with plenty of liquid, as they need that moisture to do their job properly. Finally, we come to food number 13, the humble cabbage. This vegetable has been a staple for thousands of years because it is hardy, easy to grow, and stores well through the winter. But the real miracle of cabbage happens when you let it sit and ferment into sauerkraut. In the ancient world, fermentation was a primary way of preserving the harvest, and it turns out this process creates a superfood for the gut. A very recent study from the University of California, Davis, found that fermented cabbage actually protected the cells of the intestine from damage and inflammation by 40%. This is a level of protection that many expensive supplements cannot match. The fermentation process creates 3 things at once: fiber from the cabbage, probiotics, the live beneficial bacteria, and postbiotics, the healthy compounds those bacteria produce. It is a complete gut health package. The lactic acid produced during fermentation helps to acidify the gut, which makes it an unwelcoming environment for harmful bacteria, while helping the good ones thrive. Even if you do not make your own, you can buy raw, refrigerated sauerkraut at most stores today. Just a couple of forkfuls with your dinner can transform your digestion. It helps you break down your food more effectively and reduces that heavy, bloated feeling after a meal. Cabbage is also rich in vitamin K and vitamin C, supporting your immune system and your bone health. I find it fascinating that something so simple and so inexpensive can be so powerful. It reminds me that God often hides His greatest blessings in the most humble places. Whether you eat it raw in a slaw or fermented as sauerkraut, cabbage is a true biblical fiber bomb that belongs on every senior's table. Let us take a moment to look back at the incredible tools God has provided for our health. Think of the golden chickpeas and the ancient barley that sustained the prophets. Picture the sweet pears and the deep red raspberries that provide gentle, life-giving fiber. Remember the strength found in flax and chia seeds, the steady energy of oats, and the prebiotic power of artichokes. Consider the heart-healthy fats and fiber of the avocado, the resistant starch of the sweet potato, and the symbolic almond that buds with new life. And finally, never forget the humble cabbage, which becomes even more powerful through the ancient art of fermentation. Each of these 13 foods is a thread in a tapestry of wellness designed specifically for the human body. They are not just calories, they are information for your cells and fuel for the microscopic world living inside you. When we choose these foods, we are choosing to honor the temple we have been given. Healing is rarely a sudden event. It is usually a slow, daily process of nourishment and stewardship. You do not have to change your entire life today. You do not have to be perfect. You simply have to start. The wisdom of the ancients has returned to us through the lens of modern science, confirming what the faithful have known for generations, that the earth provides everything we need to thrive. If you're feeling tired, if your digestion feels broken, or if you just want to ensure you have the energy to enjoy your grandchildren and your community, these 13 foods are your path forward. They are a return to a simpler, more intentional way of eating that respects the natural rhythms of our bodies. I want to encourage you to pick just one or two of these foods to start with this week. Maybe you'll try a bowl of oats for breakfast or add a spoonful of sauerkraut to your lunch. Small steps, taken with faith and consistency, lead to big changes over time. I would love to hear from you in the comments. Which of these foods was the most surprising to you? Do you have a favorite way to prepare any of them? Your stories and tips help this community grow stronger. If you found this helpful, please share it with a friend or a family member who might be struggling with their health. And if you haven't already, please subscribe so we can continue this journey together. There is so much more to explore in the intersection of faith and wellness. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May He make His face shine upon you and give you peace. And may your body be a strong and vibrant vessel for His work. I am David, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video. Stay well, stay faithful, and keep nourishing the gift of life you have been given.